this is going to be a long ass video. Hello everyone, I'm Noria, back again. I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who liked and subscribed to my channel. So starting from the 25th of October, the Ake Arts and Book Festival started. I couldn't go on Thursday because I had other things planned, but I made sure I was there from the welcoming ceremony on Friday all the way to when it ended on Sunday. And as is expected for any book festival, art and book festival, there was music, there was dance, there were panels, there were book discussions, book readings, and of course signings. So what is a bookworm like myself to do when she's surrounded by all those books? I bought a shitload of books, like a shitload. Okay, fine, not really a shitload. 16 books, does that count as a shitload? Anyway, let's just say I bought a lot of books, and I told myself I'm not buying any new books until say January, to keep things balanced. So time is already wasting, so let me just go straight to the haul. Now the first book I got is this gorgeous book here. It's These Bones Will Rise Again by Panache Chigumadze. She's this amazing woman, born in Zimbabwe but grew up in South Africa and is currently living in the States. And I watched her in a panel, and all I could think was, wow, she's brilliant, she's fucking amazing. And I love the way mind works. And so yes, that was basically the reason why I bought the book. I didn't even look at the synopsis, I didn't know what the book was about. I heard her speak and I'm like, she's so fucking smart, and I need some of that wisdom in my life, because if you know me, sometimes I can be very stupid, and I'm like, okay, I need some of that wisdom in my life. And I wanted to take a peek into how that brilliant mind works, and she had this book, and she signed it for me. I don't really like knowing so much about my books before I read them. I like being surprised. So all I know is that it basically talks about Zimbabwe and the people coming together in order to oust the dictator Robert Mugabe. And she wove it into a story about her grandmother, the roles that women have played in such struggles, and wove it into a story about her grandmother and Mbaya Nahada, who is considered the mother of the nation of Zimbabwe. So I'm looking forward to reading this. So that's the first book I got. The second book I got is this lovely jewel, The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives by Lola Shoneyin. The first time I read this book, I was in uni, and I remember I borrowed it from my roommate, and I was looking for a copy and I couldn't find a copy, and then I had to travel and I wasn't able to get it. So I loved it when I read it in uni, but the way I read it in uni is not the way I read books now, not the way I appreciate books now, so I've always been looking forward to getting it. And Lola Shoneyin coordinates Ake Book Festival. She's been doing that for the last 5 festivals, and she was present. I bought the book and she was kind enough to sign it for me, and she's just this amazing woman. Now, what is this book about? I'm not going to go into that many details, just it's basically about this graduate who finds herself in a polygamous home with a man who was comfortable with the emptiness she felt inside, and she hoped she could fill it with the love and warmth of his family, but things did not pan out the way she wanted. But along the way, she found herself, and she was able to regain healing and continue on her growth on the journey of herself. It's a beautiful book, very lovely. So yes, I am happy I was able to get it. The third book I got is Here Comes the Sun by Nicole Dennis Ben. I didn't know about this book. Most of these books I bought, I didn't know about them before I went to the festival. But I went to a lot of the book chats and the book panels. So hearing the way the speakers spoke about what they had written or what they did, kind of made it essential for me to get their books. And I remember I caught she read not really a chapter, more like a I think it was a paragraph or two paragraphs from a book. It was basically a conversation between a mother and a daughter, and it felt so real. When a mother was talking about the fact that they don't like black girls. Black girls don't like black girls. We don't even love ourselves. Basically telling our daughter that don't sacrifice your future for love. I know it sounds very cynical, but it's a kind of conversation I know that a lot of mothers have had with their daughters. And when Nicole was also talking about it, she talked about a lot of things, that happened with Jamaica, the anti-blackness, not the anti-blackness, more like the colorism, and the whole bleaching, and one of the daughters is trying to get as close to whiteness as she possibly can. And I just, it resonated, and I felt like I had to have it. So I got the book and she signed it, and I am looking forward to reading it. So that's the third book, yes. The fourth book I got, it's Of Women and Frogs by BC Ajakmon. Now, this book, she read three separate extracts from the book, and we were cackling. Like it's a character was so curious and so mouthy and so sexual, in the way 16-year-old girls are when you're discovering sex and you're curious about it. But the way a lot of literature texts like this usually go, you're always embarrassed, or you're not comfortable with expressing and stating those questions. But no, Essie has no filter. She has zero filter, and it is fucking brilliant, and I loved it. And sometimes it gave me some Judy Blume vibes, but it was still uniquely and remarkably BC story. And like, this is her first book, and I know I'm going to love it, because the minute she finished, I kid you not, every single person in that hall, we ran straight to go get the copy, and then we lined up so she could sign it, because it was that amazing. Plus, the way she read it, wow, that is a performer. So yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to of Women and Frogs. Definitely looking forward to it. So that's the fourth book I got. Next I got The Ones with Purpose by Nozizwe Cynthia Jele. Now, I pick books for different reasons. Sometimes because like I said, sometimes I like the minds of the authors, and sometimes I'm in a good headspace, and sometimes I love the blog, or sometimes I love the reading, and sometimes in this case, because I missed the reading, I missed when she was I got to the chat quite late, because I was coming from another chat, and that one took a little longer than expected. So I picked this. I came in after the reading, and I remember looking at the synopsis, and something struck me. She says, with her sister Fikile dead from breast cancer, a father long gone, a mother emerging from years of slumber, and a younger brother Mbuso consumed with rage that refuses to settle, Anele Mabuza has no choice but to collect herself and grow up. Or does she? Because if truth be told, she has not signed up to be her family's caretaker. Surely her dreams are valid. And all I was just thinking is, wow. Because usually when you're talking about, death in the family and illness and disease, it's the narrative we always get is always of the long-suffering relative, who sticks through it and helps their relative through this thing. And sometimes when I read it, I always wonder, I'm like, what about the person that's sacrificing their dreams and their goals? Like, are people actually this selfless? Yes, they exist, but is everybody this selfless? And finding out that this is a protagonist that wonders why. She loves her family, but at the same time, she aches for the dream she will have to let go of. And that conflict is giving me so much good vibes. I'm looking forward to reading this book. Definitely going to love it. The next book I got was Welcome to Lagos by Chibundu Unuzo. Firstly, I love the cover. It's like sexy, beautiful cover. Okay, so basically, because like I said, I tried to not know as much about the books ahead of time. I just know that it's a mixed match of different, it's basically a representation of Lagos. You see, in Lagos, you meet different people from different tribes, from different socioeconomic classes. with different dreams and goals, and they are all coming together to hustle so that they can, they can make it. It's what it is. And that's basically this story. It's about three people, three unlikely people who form an alliance and a family, and try to make it in Lagos. And I love that because it's so representative. But yes, I should read a passage from the book that was so funny and I loved it. So I was like, okay, definitely gonna get it. Sorry, excuse me. The next book I got was Peter Kimani's Dance of the Jacaranda. Now, this book I've had in my Amazon cart for I think about 3 months thereabout. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it. So when I got there and I saw it, and Peter Kimani, he wanted to talk about the different races that were prominent in Kenya in the 1960s, and the way in which each of those peoples, each of them had their agenda that they were furthering, and you had Europeans, you had the Indians, you had the Africans, and how their lives intersected, what came as a result of that. And he wanted to pursue that, which was why he wrote this book. So it's partly romance stories, partly an historical fiction. It depends on exactly how you see it. Now, I always love historical fiction, and I love romances sometimes. So I'm like, okay, I get the best of both worlds, and this is a book I've always wanted to get. So I was like, of course, why the fuck not? So I got it. Peter Kimani's Dance of the Jacaranda. The next book I got was David Olusoga's Black and British: A Forgotten History. Like I said, I love history. Okay, historical texts, both fiction and non-fiction. And a lot of people like to think that, okay, blacks never existed in Britain, or were never in Britain until, colonization. And, it dug into true historical tests. I was like, no, blacks have been living in Britain, the Black Moors. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And once again, I love the way he talked about it. He was really passionate about the subject, and the book is beautiful. And they're like pictures. Yes, I know, I'm a kid. Pictures make me go, fuck it, I'm gonna have it. So yes, I'm looking forward to reading it. It's probably going to take me a while to get through it, but I'm going to enjoy reading it, that is for sure. Now, the next book I got is a duology. It's the Beast Made of Night duology by Tochi Onyebuchi. I got Beast Made of Night and I got Crown of Thunder, and both were signed by him. Now, getting to this story also was very interesting because you see, he had a panel, and he was talking about what inspired his writing, and he talked about his fascination with cyborgs, this whole merger of man and beasts, and how you do not, there's always the worry that you do not fit into either worlds, and until you come to the realization that you are both, and you feel you fit into both worlds. And he said it was symbolic for him because it was also helping him work through his identity, because he's Nigerian American, and sometimes he does not feel Nigerian enough, and sometimes he does not feel American enough. And it took him, like, writing the books also helped him find himself, realize the fact that he is Nigerian American. And I related with that so well because I grew up Ishan. My dad is Ishan, my mom is Delta, but I grew up in Ibadan. So I've never really felt like I belonged anywhere. So listening to him speak about it, I connected with that. And then I bought the books because I buy shit like that. I bought the books. I know that after I bought the books, that I read the blog, and I kid you not, I have had this book on my list of books to buy since last year, because I saw a blog and I saw a review, and I'm like, this book is so fucking fantastic. Like, it's set in the city of Kos, which, yes, is actually a play on Lagos. Cool, right? Yes, it was set in the city of Kos, and the lead character, Taj, is basically what you would call an Aki. Yes, so like in their world, purity ranks very high, and their Akis are mages who can consume your sin. So when you sin, you go meet an Aki, they consume it, and this sin now is reflected on the Aki as tattoos. And our main character, Taj, is hungry, wants to fend for his family, and then he becomes an Aki, and he's one of the most talented ones, and he goes to consume a sin of someone in the royal family, and everything, chaos ensues. And I'm living for that. I want that. Thank you. Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to this too. Okay, so next on my list is Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. Now, I have some Nnedi's books, but I never had Who Fears Death. I have been waiting to get it, especially because I plan on reading it before the HBO series airs, and she was there. Yes, she was there. See, she designed my book. Like, isn't this pretty? Mm-hmm. Anyway, and she signed it, of course. So, I love the whole point of Onye Sonwo, I think. She's born as a result of rape. Now, this is something that's in the blog, so I know I'm not spoiling anything. And sexual assault has always been a very touchy subject for me. So, realizing the fact that this is something that left us mark and left us scar, and from this act of pain, powers are rooted in that action of violence. It speaks to me on so many levels, and once again, this is a book I tried my best. I didn't even finish reading the blog because I just wanted to get like the basics. Okay, so she's a girl, she has powers, she's going to save the world, but then it's a world worth saving, considering that it's a world that has always separated her from the rest of them. Like, I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to reading this book. So the next book I got is Wake Me When I'm Gone by Odafia Togun. The only reason I bought this book, I'm not gonna lie, is because some of my friends hated it, and I'm like, why? And they're like, no. So when I said, I want to get it, I want to see if I'm gonna eat it too, and they said, no, don't do it. But if you know me, you will know that no, don't do it is the one sure way of getting me to do shit. So I bought the book. I do not know anything about. In fact, I do not know anything about it other than the fact that my friends hate it. So I am looking forward to how that is going to turn out. Okay. Next on my list is Paul Beatty's The Sellout. Now, this is the first Paul Beatty book I'm gonna buy. I'm not gonna lie, I do not know what the book is about either. I just love the extract. The lead character is lived a fairly decent life. Not fairly, he's lived a pretty damn decent life, because he knows by the color of his skin as it is versus black that already has strikes against him. He's tried to live on the straight and narrow, and now he's in prison, and just that opening scene just captivated me. I'm like, okay, I want to know what's gonna happen next. I need to know what's gonna happen next. So I got the book. Okay. Sorry. Next on my list is The 100 Wells of Salanga by Aisha Haruna Hatta. Now, this book I do not really know that much about either, but the author explained that writing this book was hard for her because she's never been to a village. She has no connection to her roots, so she had to travel so she could write in that setting. And in traveling and writing the story, she found herself. And like I said earlier, I am someone who was born far away from my town of birth. I do not speak my language, my traditional language. I don't live with my paternal relatives, so I've always felt that disconnect. And plus, this cover is so fucking beautiful. I'm like, I have to get it. So that is why I have The 100 Wells of Salanga, and I have a friend that loves this book, so I know I'm gonna love it too. Fingers crossed that I do. The next book, second to the last book I got, is Hold by Michael Doncor. I was sitting behind Michael before his panel started, and I loved talking with him. So when he started, I was already looking for it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a book. That's what I thought, because I was like, oh, I found him fascinating. I'm like, I'm sure his story will be fascinating too. And then he read an excerpt of the book, because his main character, Belinda, she's an house help from Ghana. A girl employed to do chores, and then old employers send her to go and stay with, I think, the sister or a friend in the UK. And because the friend was requesting for Belinda, because Belinda is young and her daughter is young, Ama's biological daughter, Mary, is young, also a teenager, but has been depressed of late, and figures that another teenager, that is Belinda, will be able to help Mary talk about what is going on with her. And I just love the fact that it's like it centers three women, three African women. Yeah, one is Ghanaian British, British Ghanaian, but I love the fact that I centered three African women. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And then get this, turns out I'm married. This is not a spoiler. Okay, no, it's kind of a spoiler, but I'm looking forward to this book. Definitely looking forward to it. And the cover is stunning. Like, she's so pretty, gorgeous, pretty. Okay, and the final book I got is Slay in Your Lane by Yomi Adegoke and Elizabeth Oyebinene. And it says, one, it's beautiful. Two, it's beautiful. And big praising, you know, Black girl magic, but British Black girl magic. And anytime there's an opportunity to, you know, support and love Black girl magic, you can bet your ass I am going to be there buying the book and shouting from the back of the line. So yes, those are the books I got at Ake. The festival was fun. I had a lot of fun. I took a ton of videos, so which are going to play next, and I hope you enjoy it.
The narration is experimental in all sorts of ways.
There's certain people who are never ever going to read history books about race. There's certain people who are always going to go into a defensive space.
What will the straights think? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if they find out about this, then what are they going to think about us?
I deal with cancer and death in the first few chapters, and then the rest of it is more the story behind who this person is. And
the children get like the legs of the chicken. And I'm not talking about, you know, the thigh and that kind of, you know, that grizzly thing with the toes sticking out in all directions.
Botswana have actually taken an instrument like the guitar and made it their own. And they've made certain modifications to the instrument.
You know, I feel like, you know, a Black population, yes, but at the same time, we have internalized so much. Sometimes it's so subconscious that we don't even notice it, right? And so for Dolores,
there are pockets in the book where, you know, one of the main characters, in fact, the main character is, she's eating a lot, she's enjoying herself. Behind you, there's kind of like a banner that talks a little bit about where the profiteroles, which are kind of like a French paste.
So often, in that there isn't one way to be an Egyptian woman, there isn't one way to be a Muslim woman, but there are very, very narrow depictions of what being, especially a Muslim woman, is in the media and in popular culture and on TV, and the kind of Muslim woman that is allowed to exist.
What I was trying to do was to have the book be a conversation with the reader. You know, I didn't want the book to feel like it was academic, but I wanted the rigor of the interviews to show.
But the point just being that it's on the back of a particular kind of neoliberal kind of erasure of histories. I think something I want to talk about in the last panel was, you know, we talk about how we're opening Africa up for market.
On the other hand, you have Wakanda, you know, which is this sort of, this melange, and part of it too, I think a lot of it too, is a response to the complete and utter obliteration of origin and past. That was a principal feature of American slavery.
One of the inspirations behind writing Binti, there were several, but one of them was a trip that I had made to the United Arab Emirates and seeing how Black Africans were treated there. And, you know, and it wasn't good. And
I'll show up first before you.
oh yes, oh my gosh.
You
have to show it to us.
Yes, yes, I can show it.
If I had permission to kill tall people with incapacity to pay their right bills.
Revel in your beauty. There is something about texture and tone that make for a gastronomic feast. You are stunning. Adorn your flesh like silk. Let it drape you, cascade over your shoulders, mold itself between your breasts, sliding down your thighs, hugging your calves, gently covering your feet, dripping on your toes.
So many times I ask myself the question why. The way I am feeling makes me touch the sky.
And that is it. Thank you very much for being so patient, because like I said, this video is long. Thank you, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this, and I hope I'll see you same time next week.